Welcome to Eagle Discovery. What if a camera in a remote wilderness captured something so strange it shocked the world? Normally, these cameras document wildlife, but what if one recorded the unexpected? Stay tuned to see a discovery that's hard to believe. Alex Lang's discovery. Alex Lang, a passionate conservationist, found himself deep within a secluded forest, far from the distractions of the modern world. His mission was to scrutinize hours of wildlife footage taken by trail cameras. Initially, the scenes were typical: bears foraging for food, owls gliding quietly between trees, and foxes darting swiftly through the underbrush. Yet something about this project felt unusual. The forest appeared to hold more than what met the eye, a hidden layer Alex couldn't quite grasp. Despite the footage seeming normal, he couldn't shake the feeling that there were secrets just beyond the camera's reach. Alex had anticipated discovering something remarkable, possibly a rare species or a creature on the brink of extinction. But as days passed and he pored over the footage, a sense of disappointment began to creep in. Maybe this forest is as barren as it appears, he mused, as his initial excitement began to fade. Then, an unexpected event shattered the monotony. What Alex witnessed next would not only alter his outlook, but also leave both him and everyone who saw it completely astounded. The woman in the forest. The motion sensors on the camera picked up something unusual within the frame. A figure materialized on the left side of the screen. At first, Alex struggled to comprehend what he was seeing. It was a woman. He froze, his heart pounding as he watched her move across the screen. She emerged from the thick underbrush, her pale hair stark against the dark forest backdrop. Her attire seemed completely out of place, almost like a black leotard or swimsuit, an odd choice for someone in the middle of a forest. Her arms hung motionless by her sides, and her head was tilted slightly downward, as though she were walking mechanically. She didn't seem to notice the camera. She just kept moving forward. The sight reminded Alex of something straight out of a horror film. He leaned in closer to the monitor. There were no trails in that part of the forest, no logical explanation for anyone to be there. Throughout their research, he could count on one hand the number of people they had encountered, and none had appeared so ill-prepared for a hike in such a remote, isolated forest. The woman kept walking across the screen, then paused, her head turning slightly as if responding to a sound behind her. But the camera picked up nothing, only the eerie, empty stillness of the forest. After a brief moment, she continued walking, fading into the shadows at the far edge of the frame. When the video ended, Alex couldn't shake the unnerving sensation that he had just witnessed something he wasn't meant to see. Theories and speculations. Alex knew the forest well, and there were no trails leading to the area where he saw the woman. The camera hadn't malfunctioned, but what he saw didn't match anything he knew about the forest. Despite his attempts to rationalize it, the woman's sudden appearance and strange movements unsettled him. She didn't seem to belong in that environment, and no explanation made sense. Feeling uneasy, Alex shared the footage with his boss. Within hours, it was all over the internet, attracting widespread attention. People were baffled. Was it a ghost, a hoax, or something darker hidden in the forest for centuries? Theories spread quickly online. Some thought it was an art project designed to provoke fear. Others believed the woman might be tied to the forest's cryptid legends, perhaps a forest spirit or a creature from remote corners of the world. The more it was discussed, the more questions emerged. How had she appeared in the forest, dressed so oddly and moving in such an unnatural way? As the video went viral, speculation about paranormal activity grew. Could the woman be linked to strange phenomena, like those in places such as Aokigahara, known for its ghostly sightings and UFO reports? The forest, once a mere backdrop, now seemed to hold its own mystery, one that no one could easily explain. The footage had turned the quiet, isolated woods into something much more ominous. The revelation, Emily Reynolds. As speculation grew, the truth seemed even more elusive. Was she a ghost from another era? A cryptid that had evaded discovery for centuries? Or was it simply an inexplicable, eerie event? As the video spread online, no theory fully explained the chilling mystery of the woman in the forest. The footage captivated thousands, sparking heated debates. Who was she? What was she doing there? Was this a supernatural entity or something more sinister? While theories flooded in, none provided a definitive answer. Before we go further, a quick request: if you enjoy unraveling mysteries, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. Your support helps us bring you more intriguing content. Then, an unexpected revelation changed everything. A man named Carl Reynolds stepped forward, visibly shaken. The woman in the video was his missing sister, Emily Reynolds. "She's Emily," Carl said with teary eyes, transforming the mystery into a deeply personal story. Emily had vanished 4 years ago during a solo trip. Her abandoned car was found 20 miles from the forest, with no clues to her whereabouts. The case had gone cold, leaving Carl and his family desperate for answers. They never stopped searching, but they never expected to find her like this. What happened to Emily in those lost years? Was she lost, taken, or was there something more unsettling at play? The mystery had taken a heartbreaking turn, but the questions remained. The search intensifies. Carl's revelation hit like a thunderclap. The realization that the woman in the forest, this eerie and enigmatic figure, was not just a mysterious stranger, but someone's loved one, made the entire situation far more poignant. Emily, a missing person who had vanished without a trace, was now the focal point of a mystery that had gone unsolved for years. How had she ended up in the forest? How had she survived all alone in such a remote and harsh environment? All that had been found was her abandoned car, with no other clues as to her whereabouts. Now the questions that Carl had carried for so long were heavier than ever. The footage provided some answers but raised even more questions. The astonishing fact that Emily was alive only deepened the mystery. How had she managed to get to that forest? And was this just the beginning of a much larger story that no one was ready for? With Emily's identity revealed, the search for her became urgent. Authorities were now more determined than ever to find her. The shocking revelation had stirred the world, and the search had transformed from a rescue mission into a frantic race to solve the puzzle that had plagued the Reynolds family for years. Yet despite all the effort and the worldwide attention on the case, the forest held on to its secrets. Search teams poured into the area. Helicopters circled above, drones scoured every inch of the forest, and boots thudded against the ground as they searched for any trace of Emily. They combed the wilderness around the location where her car had been found, tracking every possible path she might have taken. But despite their exhaustive efforts, the forest remained stubbornly quiet. No footprints, no makeshift camps, no belongings. It was as if Emily had vanished into thin air once again. The strange cabin. As the search continued, the mystery only deepened. Despite extensive efforts, no one could explain how Emily had survived alone in such a remote forest for 4 years. Authorities and family alike were baffled. No traces of her had been found before, as if she had simply vanished into thin air. Theories ran wild. Some believed she had been held captive in a hidden shelter, while others speculated she had deliberately disappeared, escaping from something in her past. Stranger still were the supernatural theories. Had she encountered something beyond human understanding? Had she crossed paths with an elusive cryptid, a creature lurking in the depths of the wilderness? Yet, the forest held its secrets tightly. For Alex, however, the mystery had become an obsession. The haunting image of Emily, pale, drifting through the trees like a ghost, was seared into his mind. He couldn't just wait for answers. He had to find them himself. Rewatching the footage, Alex noticed something. A distinct landmark. A secluded clearing hidden deep within the woods. His heart pounded. This could be the key. With nothing but the video and his instincts, he set off. The journey was grueling. Dense underbrush tore at his skin. Exhaustion crept in, but he pressed on. Days passed as he pushed deeper into the unknown, driven by a singular purpose: finding Emily and uncovering the truth. The discovery of Emily's cabin. Then deep within the forest, Alex made a discovery that had evaded every search before: a long-forgotten cabin tucked away among the trees. His heart pounded as he drew closer. How had this place stayed hidden for so long? How had no one else found it? As he stepped inside, the air was thick with dust and the smell of stale air, and there, in the far corner of the cabin, was Emily. For a moment, Alex stood still in the doorway, unsure if what he was seeing was real. Her face was hollow, her eyes clouded with fear and confusion. She had clearly endured unimaginable hardships, both physically and emotionally. What do you think? How did Emily manage to survive all this time in the forest? Was it sheer instinct, or is there something deeper at work here? Share your theories in the comments below, and let's keep working together to solve this mystery. Emily's recovery. Emily's body was fragile, her once vibrant skin now clinging to her bones. Her eyes, which had once sparkled with life, now appeared vacant and hollow. The moment Alex discovered her in that cabin, he could see the devastating effects that the brutal wilderness had taken on her. She looked like a mere shadow of the person she once was. But despite her physical condition, it wasn't just her body that caused concern. It was her mind. Her mental recovery, doctors said, would be far more complex than her physical healing. They cautioned that she would need time to heal and to remember. But the most agonizing question remained. Would she ever regain her memories? And if she did, would she be able to cope with them? As Emily slowly regained some strength, she spent long hours sitting in silence, staring blankly as if lost in her own thoughts. Her memory was fractured. Sometimes brief moments of clarity would surface, but they were always fleeting, incomplete. Disjointed images, faces, and places appeared, none of them making sense. She recalled fragments of her time in the forest, wandering alone, fighting to survive, endlessly moving from one place to another, searching for something she couldn't fully comprehend. The days had become a blur of confusion and solitude. Alex watched her struggle, seeing the anguish in her eyes as she tried to piece together the years she had spent lost in the wilderness. Each attempt to recall her experiences seemed to chip away at the very essence of what had kept her alive during those years. Was it simply her sheer will to survive? The primal instincts that drove her through the harshest conditions? Or was there something else at work? Something beyond the limits of human endurance? Carl's emotional reunion with Emily. The mystery of how Emily had survived, and the strange circumstances that kept her hidden in the forest, only grew more profound. Was it merely the strength of survival instincts at play? Or was there something supernatural at work, guiding her every move in ways that no one could comprehend? When Carl finally saw his sister again, the emotions hit him all at once. After years of searching, constantly wondering whether she was alive or dead, he was finally standing before her. But the woman he faced wasn't the sister he remembered. There she was, his sister, Emily, alive, but irrevocably changed. Her body was thinner, and her eyes bore the heavy weight of confusion, the result of years spent navigating the relentless wilderness. Carl's heart overflowed with love and relief, but there was also an undeniable sadness. Her face was still recognizable, but the woman she had once been seemed like a distant echo. It felt as though he was looking at a stranger, someone wearing the face of the sister he had cherished for so long. Despite the trauma, the confusion, and the silence of those long years, there was still a flicker of the hope Carl had held onto, a small, almost imperceptible smile. It was brief, fleeting, but it was there. For the first time in years, Emily smiled. That moment, though short-lived, was everything to Carl. It was a sign that, despite everything that had happened, Emily was still there. Alex's reflections and the forest's secrets. The reunion between Carl and Emily was undeniably bittersweet. Carl had spent years fearing the worst, imagining the unthinkable. Seeing his sister alive was nothing short of miraculous, but the person standing before him was no longer the same. The road ahead would be long and difficult, and the future remained uncertain. For Carl, the focus had shifted. It was no longer about unraveling the mystery of how Emily had survived or uncovering the secrets hidden in the forest. What mattered now was helping Emily heal. Whether the answers to the mystery remained forever buried or the truth was never fully uncovered didn't matter. All Carl wanted now was to support Emily in reclaiming her life, helping her rediscover herself, and giving her a chance to live again, free from the shadows that had long haunted her. Meanwhile, Alex couldn't stop thinking about the forest and everything he had witnessed, the strange footage, the search, and Emily's miraculous recovery. His mind continually returned to the woods, to the mysterious woman captured in the frame, to the unsettling moments that led to her discovery, and to one lingering question. How had the camera recorded her image at that exact moment? It felt almost as though fate had guided the camera to capture that precise instant. Was it just a fortunate coincidence, or was there something more at work? The forest had always been a master at hiding its secrets, but this time, it felt as though those secrets were ready to be revealed. What were the odds of such an occurrence? Alex couldn't help but wonder. Was it merely an odd twist of fate? Or was there something in the forest itself, something hidden in plain sight waiting to be noticed by someone? As Alex pondered, a thought began to take shape in his mind. Maybe the forest had even more to reveal. Perhaps there were forces at play, hidden just beyond the trees and shadows, waiting to be uncovered. Maybe more secrets lay buried deep within its vast expanse, waiting for someone to bring them to light. The camera had captured Emily's image at just the right moment. But what if this was only the beginning? Maybe the forest wasn't just a passive backdrop to an unusual event. Perhaps it had its own story to tell, a story that had been waiting for someone to discover it. A tale tied to unseen forces, things beyond human comprehension. Standing at the edge of the forest, gazing into its sprawling wilderness, Alex couldn't shake the feeling that the forest was holding its breath, waiting for the next curious soul to enter and uncover its mysteries. The more he thought about it, the clearer it became. The answers they had found about the woman in the footage might never tell the whole story. The forest was ancient, far older than any of them, and had witnessed more than anyone could imagine. The question remained unanswered. What else does the forest know, and what secrets has it witnessed throughout the ages? If you enjoyed today's video, please like it, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Your support means a lot to us. Click on the video that appears on your screen right now. I'm sure you'll enjoy this content. Comment below on which country you'd like to see featured on our channel. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for being with us. Leave a comment, like to show your support, and remember to subscribe for more exciting videos. See you next time!